Before beginning assembly, be sure all parts are present using the parts list on the back of the page. Attach the inner rails to the vertical sections of the handle axle using the 8mm bolts, small flat washers, lock washers, and 8mm hex nuts. Note, do not tighten securely until all nuts and bolts are in place. Make sure the connecting tabs located toward the front end of the inner rails are situated on the outside as shown on the parts diagram. Attach the outer rails to the handle axle using the 8mm bolts, washers, lock washers, and 8mm hex nuts as shown. Make sure the ends of the outer rails with the stops inside the channels are attached to the handle axle. Attach inner rails, front connecting tabs, to the front axle using the 8mm bolts, washers, lock washers, and 8mm hex nuts through the two inner holes in the front axle. With the 12mm axle bolts, attach the 6-inch wheels to the handle axle using a large flat washer on each side of both wheels. Do not over-tighten. Wheels must spin freely. Attach the outer rails to the front axle using the two threaded caster wheels connecting through the two outer holes in the front axle. The threaded posts on the casters are connected using star washers on the underside of the front axle and small flat washers and 8mm hex nuts on the upper side of the front axle. Tighten all 8mm nuts and bolts securely on the entire cart, making sure that the rails and axles are squared and parallel. Finally, when loading the stand onto the cart, be sure to flip the desk all the way over backwards to the storage position.